Dyson Pizza contains descriptions of peril, natural disasters, and kaiju. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hello, wayward listeners. Welcome back to Dyson Pizza. This is part 2 of The Dragon in the Orb and the finale of Arc 1. Stay tuned to the end of the episode for some fun announcements about episode 12 and beyond. Until then, enjoy the rest of the episode.
So Zaba, you are swirling in this maelstrom of spirit water, in this ocean that is vast and seemingly infinite. What's the first thing you do when you realize you are drowning effectively?
Gills.
Gills. All right, you cast gills. You have gills. You can breathe now. Go ahead and roll me a 20-sided die.
Oh boy. I've switched back to my previous dice. I'm sorry, Monica. These other dice are cursed. Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay.
I think your other
So the
dice are
instant you're
loaded.
able to breathe.
Joking.
Thank you, Monica.
The instant you're able to breathe, you begin to regain some clarity and begin to sort of flow with the water around instead of fighting against it. And in this moment, you have a couple of options. You know that you have your magic back. You know that you can reach out to Bannon, even though the feeling is faint. But most importantly, you did not free fall back into your body like you thought you would. So you can also try to figure out something for that. What would you like to do?
I mean, if I have this tethered to Bannon, does Bannon have a tether to my body?
It logically makes sense. So if you could find Bannon in the spirit world, maybe you can get back to your body.
Yeah. I guess that's my plan. I want to try to see if I can find Bannon.
So with this triumph, you focus your energy on Bannon, and you project yourself and your mask towards Bannon. And all of a sudden, all at once, you are no longer in this swirling maelstrom, as you are spit out ashore. And the thing is, though, you weren't spit out onto like a beach. You were spit out onto that grassy meadow with that temple to Bannon. It is a temple adorned in wreaths of fall-colored leaves, of autumn leaves, with swords and axes and hammers and nails. As you take a breath in, you can smell that it eternally does smell like autumn here. There's a sort of, apple kind of scent in this area. And before you is this great bronze temple that feels familiar, but you've never been here.
I look around and I start. Is there a forge? Can I see a forge?
Yeah, there's a forge inside of the temple, and surrounding this is a forest with animals.
I think I walk, like my first instinct is to walk toward the forge.
You walk towards the forge, and as you approach, the temple seems to be endlessly long. But at a certain point, you begin to hear the sound of hammer hitting steel and fire being tempered. And as you walk across these stone floors in this bronze-adorned temple, you feel at home. Once that thought kind of percolates in your mind, you arrive at the forge. And there is a figure, not that much taller than you, that's very wiry and very tired, pounding away at this, at what appears to be some sort of sword. And as you look around, there are dozens and dozens of swords that have been made that just kind of sit in piles. The figure does not take notice of you.
I think I'll walk around the room just to look at the swords.
You see all kinds of swords. You even see some armor. This kind of stuff is ancient looking. You haven't seen swords that looked like this or the design. They're long, they're curved, they're folded over and quite well. They're, like you can see your reflection. And that's actually what I think catches your eye the most is you see your reflection. You see your reflection without your mask.
Oh.
Reflected back at you in shields and blades and armor. The armor here is, some of it is very like ancient Roman, ancient Greek. Some of it is very like ancient Japan, ancient China in nature. There's weapons and swords of all kinds. That kind of like all kinds and styles that have been made over the years. You sense that this sort of endless armory could have been being forged for thousands of years. And that if Ernie were here, it would most likely want to take all of it home.
Would they? Looking at
But
the
you
level,
can't know that for certain.
last time they treated an armory, they like just like
I'm sorry.
Ernie walks up to Bannon and tries to pickpocket.
Hey, Bennett doesn't have a punchable face, okay?
Fair enough. I'm looking in the reflection, and I kind of like oh, there's touching my face almost like, oh, there's no mask here. And I kind of finished making the rounds of the room or the forge to come up on the other side of Bannon, who I presumably is still working, like clang clang clang,
Mhm.
or
Yep, Bannon is still working.
and I put a hand on Bannon's shoulder.
Bannon stops, takes in a big inhale and lets out a long exhale. And they turn to you. Bannon has these sort of amber brown eyes that pierce through the sort of shadows cast by the shade of the temple that brings you comfort. And their face is well worn and scarred, very reminiscent of Ernie's sort of scars. Bannon has faced a lot of battles. Bannon makes no sort of expression other than to say, I'm glad you have found me, Zaba.
It was surprisingly easy. Considering all that Tenkai told me about the spirit world.
Yes, it's quite tricky. But, I think had you not reached out earlier, I wouldn't have been able to help guide you here. And I'm glad that what is left of Mitra's ocean didn't tear you apart.
Yes. Well, I have a few friends. Friends are friends of Mitra.
Ah, yes. The healer from Noro. Yes. While I haven't been able to help you much, I have been watching. And I must say, there are times when you make me proud, Zaba. And there are times when you disappoint me.
Truly devastating to Zaba. like a disappointed Agoro.
Bannon says, if you don't mind, while we talk, I'm going to continue working. I have to keep the fire stoked.
As you wish.
He begins to stoke the fires, and this time you notice that it's with a certain delicacy. And as you watch the fire, you realize, unlike fire back on Mirios, that's wild and untamed, and at times catastrophic. This fire almost moves like it's aware of itself, and you sense a divine presence from the fire.
How many left
How many left of what?
of the gods?
There's only one that still maintains their presence on the realm of Mirios. The rest of us reside here as best we can. You've met Mitra, what's left of them, and the reason why I stoke the fires is to keep Thala alive. At their request. Tenkai, as I'm sure you know, did quite a number. And he smacks the steel more forcefully and almost just ruthlessly this time before dipping it in cold water. And then they begin to work on another piece of steel. and begin to shape it.
Can you help me find my way back to my companions?
Unfortunately, I cannot guide you back there, but there is a path, a journey you can take through the spirit world to get back to your companions. I can at least point you in the right direction, and this is a good starting point.
Is there anything I can take back with me? Knowledge? Some. Anything? I know where Tenkai is. I know that Tenkai is building some sort of presence on the other side of the continent. All that he has told me. I know that we must go to Noro to see if we can find more information from the vast libraries there. I know that there is a sickness associated with Tenkai, and that I may soon succumb to it. Those are the things I know.
Then let me help you see. And he says, "May I?" And he gestures to, like as if he's going to touch his hand to your head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He lays the palm of his hand onto your forehead, and everything fades. And when you come to, you and Bannon are sort of floating ethereally, and they begin to show you memories of theirs. You see the world before Tenkai, a vast empire that stretched the span of the continent, that was destroyed by Tenkai, who became greedy and hungered for only power. It's the only language he understands. You see the gods fighting amongst themselves, each of them debating whether or not to leave Mount Ida and give up their divinity to go help the people. But most importantly, you see that right now, currently, that there are followers of Tenkai everywhere. That serpent logo you saw on Atreus' ring, that symbol is bore everywhere. And most importantly, Bannon takes you to this temple, where it exists, in Mirios. And you see that there is where Tenkai and his followers have been hiding out. And Bannon looks to you and says, "This is bigger than any one person, bigger than any one guardian. I can't ask you to keep chasing after Tenkai. I can't ask you to solve everything. Nor can I grant you more divine wisdom other than the fact that the Tenkai you interact with, the Tenkai you see, he is not at all the man he was. He is a shell, as you might have guessed, completely twisted by the powers that would normally turn someone divine." Bannon looks to you and says, "You are ill. You are very ill. You have to go to Noro, but not just to learn more, but to seek healing."
I only ask for what you can give, and it seems you've given enough. I'll be on my way.
All of a sudden, you float to the beginning of a path through the woods. A very familiar set of woods. You know the one. Remember walking through here when you were little. And Bannon says, "You and your companions have a choice to make, Zaba. I will not try to sway you one way or the other. I'm sure you will make me proud. Either way." And Bannon takes your mask and puts it back on you. And then they're gone. You're left with the sounds of nature.
And yeah, Zaba goes off.
Roll me a d20.
D20. Okay. Ah, no! It didn't count. It didn't. didn't. Well, a 5.
Okay. You begin your journey. Meanwhile, Driftwood, Atreus has turned to face you. You are on top of Zaba, who is still unconscious and is burning up, like on the inside, like from a fever. Ernie is unconscious at 0 hit points. What do you do, Driftwood?
Mm. Am I? Is Zaba like on me, like physically?
You are on top of Zaba.
Okay, so I'm touching Zaba.
Mm-hmm.
I whisper a relief spell
Oh, okay.
since I'm touching Zaba, and I know that they're not awakened, but I know that there's still life in there.
What do you say?
I say, Zaba, if you can hear my voice, follow the sound of it.
Okay, Zaba, go ahead and re-roll that.
Woohoo! Rolls in that one. Please, please, please. 16.
That is a success. Zaba, all of a sudden, you hear Driftwood's voice. And as you walk down the road gets shorter and infinitely shorter. And all of a sudden, you kind of step over a ledge. And when you come to, you open your eyes and you are staring at Driftwood, who is above you. You feel very ill.
Oh no.
Very ill. Like, you are sick. Like, you've maybe got a handful of things you can do before you
Yeah.
have to rest.
I don't feel well.
But Driftwood, you see Zaba come too.
Okay. We don't have any time. We have to act. We have to get Ernie. We have to get out of here. If we can, whatever energy you have left should be devoted towards that. And my hands don't work. My hands are broken.
Oh, no.
Also,
No, Zaba just grunts.
Atreus just shakes his head. Well.
Can I set Atreus on fire? Oh no,
Go
I
ahead.
no.
Roll me a d20. Just roll me a d20.
Please, don't give me shit rolls, please. No, it's a 2. I'm assuming that means I can't set Atreus on fire.
You like try to like conjure the fire to like burn Atreus, but when you like go to move your hand, you realize from the fall you injured you injured yourself, and you're like, like you feel pain, like you're now a little bit more awake as you like roll over and start to get up, like
Yeah.
you've like hurt something.
Yeah. All
The
right.
two of you are there.
is it still like can I still do something right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Atreus is like, you see Atreus preparing to cast something.
Okay. We're in Atreus's like quarters, and I'm imagining
Yeah.
like an apothecary type situation where there's like books and tomes and like lab things. Is there a skeleton or a skull in the room?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Is it a skeleton or a skull?
Atreus would be the creepy.
It's a skull. There's a variety of skulls of different creatures.
Oh, shoot.
He doesn't have a wall of spines.
Okay, so I'm gonna try something here. It's gonna expend all my AP, but I'm gonna try it. If there's multiple skulls in the room, I want to cast like a mass reanimate. And
How
so
much does it cost?
it costs 1 AP. So as much as
Okay.
like 3 could do is what I'd want to do. In order to
Okay.
create a distraction to disarm, so that we can do a getaway. So
Yeah.
the thing with reanimate, it says you animate a nearby corpse or skeleton, making it your thrall. It can move around, but it cannot leave your scene. The spell ends when you leave the scene. You control the creature telepathically. It is not conscious, and it only follows your commands. The creature has 3 HP and can attack for 1 HP. So I'm channeling any sense of magic that I can get into this one spell.
Okay.
So yeah, can I go for it?
How much AP do you have again?
I have 3. So
You have 3? Okay.
Yeah.
You animate 3 skulls
Okay.
of various like creatures, and what do you say to them?
I say,
what do you tell them to do?
I say, your captor is right there, floating in space. Seek revenge, however you may.
The skulls begin to like bounce and move and like start to like nip at Atreus's ankles, and like they have successfully distracted Atreus with their 3 attacks. They rolled 3 successes.
Cool.
So the 2 of you can get up and get Ernie.
I turn into a horse.
Whoa.
You turn into a horse?
I turn into a horse because it gives me more HP than I have right now.
Okay. Yeah, you turn into a horse.
I have 6 versus 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume that like when I turn to an animal, I have like a different set of like health.
Yes. You
um,
turn into a horse, but like you still feel incredibly ill.
okay, damn. All right.
Relieve does last for an hour.
Okay.
Also,
Okay. Cool.
Can
So now you
people-
have a horse.
The
Can
equivalent
people
of
get on me?
Tylenol.
Am I too sick to for them to people to get on me?
I mean, people
Well,
can get on you, but the thing is, Driftwood has broken hands and Ernie's unconscious.
yeah.
Well, I turn into a horse and I'll be the battering ram, I guess. I break down the door.
Okay. Yeah, you begin to tow a path for that. Driftwood, go ahead and roll me a d20 to just haul Ernie
Okay.
with
You can put Ernie on
your
my back.
hands.
Oh, I guess you have no hands.
If you have rope, I don't know if there's rope in this room that you can tie me to the horse and just
Driftwood
drag
with
me.
no hands, like
Oh, yeah, you're right. And the
Okay,
horse
roll a
doesn't have hands
17.
either.
Okay,
Woo!
you managed to like get Ernie like onto Zaba,
Okay.
and the three of you begin to make your way out of the castle. And as you start to get out of the palace, you come down. Driftwood, you lead the way. You lead them through, and you get out into the main foyer, where there's the second gate, the second tier gate, and you see standing before you is Jack with Sidon. Sidon is bloodied and on both of his knees, grievously wounded.
Excited.
Well, you're unconscious, so
Yeah.
Mentally, if I was awake.
Oh God.
I nay.
You nay?
No.
So Jack sees us, right?
Yeah.
Well, he sees a horse.
Yeah, he sees a horse, Driftwood, and Ernie,
And an unconscious Ernie.
and an unconscious Ernie.
Okay. Fuck.
I can't speak. I'm a horse.
Oh man.
Is it
I-
just Jack?
Yeah. Wait. You can't speak, right?
Yeah.
So Driftwood. Ah. Driftwood calls out to Sidon. No. Driftwood calls out to Jack and says, "Hey, loser. Here we are." And then I like kind of like slap Zaba or Zaba's like, "Run for it."
Run where?
Sidon, where's the exit? Come on, we can do this.
Sidon spits blood, and he's like, "Just leave me behind."
Can I run towards? Can I run towards Sidon?
Yeah.
I run towards Sidon.
You run towards Sidon, who sees this, and despite all odds, is going to attempt to escape. And with that, he manages to do the Flynn Rider trick, where he jumps like up through his cuffs, and like ducks under from the sword, and immediately gets on the horse, gets on Zaba with Ernie. Driftwood, are you running after?
Yeah. So I'm like shocked, speechless. I'm like, okay, this works. We can do this.
Roll
Let's
a
go.
d20, Driftwood.
Driftwood's the one who fails miserably. No, you can do it. You
18.
can do it. Yeah.
18, okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
Jack swings and a miss as the guards are sort of in chaos as you all are running away, and Jack aims his blade at Zaba in horse form,
And horse. No.
and out from it shoots a magical force that strikes you for only 3 points of
Okay,
damage.
we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Brush that off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, it's good I turned into something else because I would have just died if I was Zaba right now.
Yeah. And amidst the chaos, the four of you breach the city walls and escape and begin to make your way. Now, as you're coming up to the fork in the road, you can either take the left to go to Alita, or you can keep riding south back towards the ocean.
Well, it's Zaba who's the one who's running.
Mm-hmm.
For most of you, is Driftwood just running behind me?
Yeah, Driftwood's
Yeah.
running, trying to catch up.
I run towards the ocean.
Okay. Driftwood, you see that they don't take the left to Alita, they take the right towards Noro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With our canoe.
Yeah. So
All
I
our
mean,
supplies.
the only conscious. So Zaba can't speak right now, right?
I can't
Mhm.
speak. I'm like half dead. I'm not really making logical decisions right now.
Okay. And then Sidon is writing also.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But conscious.
Yeah, conscious.
Okay. Okay. Driftwood says, Zaba, stop, stop. Wait.
I stop.
And
Ernie
then
slumps off into the ground.
it's kind of slow. Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm
So,
joking.
Driftwood-
Sidon's like desperately holding on to
Yeah, I don't do that. Okay, Driftwood, what are you
No,
gonna
no,
say?
that's
Driftwood-
very funny.
Driftwood catches up and talks to Sidon. Hey Sidon, can you walk?
Yeah. Yeah, I can carry Ernie.
Let's pitch a tent. We need a rest. We can't keep going. So, are there woods around us or like anywhere we could obviously like hide out for a little bit?
Yeah, there's you can make your way. Oh man, I actually need to open up the map. Uh
But we're like moving away from Alita, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're moving away. Yeah, so you could go back towards Alita, which is on the river. Or you could break off and head towards the ocean, like the physical ocean, and just kind of hide out among like the rocky beach of the north.
Mhm.
There isn't really a forest up here.
Okay. Let's keep going. Zaba, just slow down. The instant we find a place to camp out, we're going to rest.
I canter.
The four of you begin your slow walk down and down. As night falls, the cold weather honestly feels nice. It feels very nice. The sounds of the ocean driftwood, they're really calm. Everybody feels a little bit more relaxed. And eventually you come up on a small sort of like patch of like it's like rocks that you can kind of like hide around or behind, for the night.
Mhm.
From here, you can see the wreckage of the temple of Mitra, which Driftwood, that puts you not too far from the port of which Scallop dropped you off at. And yeah.
Mhm. So, I drift. Zaba is still in horse form, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, I tell Zaba like transform back. Like you shouldn't be expending any more magic right now. You need to lie down.
Okay. The horse first lies down and then turns into Zaba.
Oh man. Um,
I'm just like this. I'm just like just the most pathetic like lie down in the world.
so on the site of seeing like Ernie and Zaba like sprawled out on the sand, Driftwood instructs Sidon like, I know we're really tired, but let's start a fire. I lay out my bedroll for Zaba, and then I lay out my apron for Ernie, and I tell Sidon to gather what he can to start a fire, and then Driftwood heads over to the ocean and just like covers their body in water.
Zaba, you see Driftwood go off towards the ocean after Sidon lays Ernie down and puts a blanket on top of Ernie.
Okay, so Driftwood comes back. I mean, their hands are still broken, so they come
Does-
back, and
Does Sidon have any like can Sidon do anything? Okay, anyway, continue, Justin.
yeah. Hopefully Sidon can.
Sidon says, I can try to reset like your bones so it'll heal properly right now. And I can bandage you up. That's about the best I can do.
Splint them? Is that the word
Yeah,
that Siden's
splint
looking
them.
for?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do it in the outcropping, but I need to talk to Zaba before they go under again.
Okay.
Vertical.
I look at Zaba, and I say, "You are very sick. You are sick in a way I've never seen before, and I've only ever seen people this sick in the most intensive casters and doctors on Noro, and so we're going to go. We have to take you there, and so I'm ready to go and take you as soon as daylight hits, and then." I mean, we should definitely make sure Ernie is okay.
Someone splints my broken arm, please.
I think Zaba kind of like reaches up and like just like I mean just whatever I can grab, which is probably like your pants or I don't know what you're wearing, and says like thank you, and then I pass out.
Yeah. So Driftwood, you and Sidon are the only ones left awake. Sidon has splinted Ernie's arm and has splinted both of your hands. And Sidon has spent most of the night putting together the fire. And when all is said and done, he tries to say something. He says, thanks for not leaving me behind.
Yeah, thank you for being here, Sidon. I can't imagine how we would have gotten out without you. I'm glad that you survived, and we definitely needed you. I don't know if what your relationship is with Ernie, honestly, but I feel comforted that they hold you in such high regard, and you're definitely strong enough to hold your own. So
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way, Driftwood. Ernie had plenty of opportunities to abandon me when we escaped Tosu, and they didn't. So I definitely owe them my life. And because you all didn't abandon me, I also owe all of you my life. Twice now. So I owe a lot of favors.
favors can wait, but our rest can't. So I can take next shift, and you can go get some rest. We'll figure everything out. We have been, so.
As the three of you go to bed, you all dream a little bit. Ernie, you feel like you're back at home in your dream tonight with your grandmother that made you those slippers that were destroyed. In fact, you're wearing these slippers, and they're really comfy. What's something that you like to eat that your grandmother makes?
I think like a vegetable stew.
Nice. She hands you a nice warm pot of vegetable stew. And it's a very pleasant dream. Until you notice that at the dinner table are 4 wolves eating the soup with you. And that puts you in a bit of an uneasy mood. Driftwood, you a dream as well. You're swimming in the ocean. And you sort of, for like the first time, you can really see everything underneath the water of the ocean. All the coral, all the fish. But something, your pompadour tingles. And as you swim around, you see that there is a giant shark behind you. And a giant crocodile. And last but not least, Zaba. your heart races as you fall asleep. And just like that, you feel yourself free falling through the sky. And when you hit the ground, you are surrounded by flame. You are surrounded by the ruins of a place you might have called home. And from the flat of your back, you watch as Tankai and his followers destroy your village. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Damn.
Dyson Pizza is Mya Worrell as Zaba, Justin Ricafort as Driftwood, Kyla Worrell as Ernie, and myself, Derek Aiello, as the guide. Cover art is by Gene Young, music is by Itamar Ben Zimra, with additional sound design and sound effects by Brian Kim. And thus, this comes to the end of Arc 1, The Dragon in the Orb. Thank you all for listening this week. If you met Maya at OrcaCon, hello, thank you for listening. Next week, we're going to be posting a special campfire chat about these first 11 episodes, and it'll sort of be a recap and spoiler-filled look back through these episodes before we start Arc 2, which, yes, the show is continuing. Don't worry. We're very excited and very thankful that we can still make the show. It's been a real blast and a real journey editing this show with the incredible players that I have and everyone else has helped along the way. Thank you so much. Really means the world. So, as usual, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Dyson Pizza for updates on the show. You can check out the video or audio version of this because, yes, there is a video version of this if you've been listening to it. We make funny faces sometimes and it's great. So yeah, you can check that out on YouTube and you can check out this show wherever you get podcasts. We would also really appreciate it if you could leave us a ranking on Spotify or a review on Apple Podcasts. That would be great. Help other people find the show. And yeah, again, thank you all for listening. Next week, not in 2 weeks, next week, we will be having a special episode that will be sort of just a chit chat, campfire chat, and then the week after we will have a regularly scheduled episode. So yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you so much, and safe journeys, everyone.